Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you today. Bitcoin is on a tear and XRP nears liftoff. We've got a lot to cover today, including an update on the Ripple SEC case. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. It's October 16, 2021. Right now, we're looking at $2.5 trillion crypto market cap. I believe we're right there creeping up on where the previous high was for crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Twitter at @BackUpBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here. And give us a follow on Digital Perspectives News on Facebook as well. Looking right here, the market itself is up 3.5% plus. Bitcoin right now at $61,542.99. That's right. Yeah, screaming this morning. 3.64 on the 24-hour, but 11.98% on the 7-day. Ethereum right now, $39.38, $3,938.92. It's up 4% plus and 9.27 on the 7-day. Looking at Cardano at 225 with some motion, up 3.84%, but still off by 1.5% on the 7-day. XRP right now is up 5.12% on the 24-hour at $1.18. Ladies and gentlemen, we got motion is what we got. And most of that motion has come from the last 24 hours. And to be honest, the last 4 or 5 hours. So this is getting exciting to see what will happen over the weekend. Recently, we saw that a Bitcoin ETF has been approved for Valkyrie in the United States. There's also been one recently approved, it looks like, in the UK as well. Okay, looking right here, we see we're at 117.57. The low side of the price range is 111.59 for XRP. The upper end is the actual price we're at right now. So the 5% gains, as I said, has been over the last handful of hours, and we're really going to keep an eye on this over the weekend to see if we get even more motion. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to testing a resistance area here. If my memory serves me correctly, we will keep an eye on it to see what happens. Let's get started with the news this morning. John Deaton. What some people don't realize about this thread is all of the other indisputable facts that I had to cut out in order to comply with the 25 tweet limit imposed by Twitter. However, enough is to warrant an independent investigation. I tell you, I align with John Deaton so much on what he says, and this is one of them. We've been saying this on this channel for quite some time, and it really is time, I believe, when you look at the thread, and we've gone over it, and it is an excellent timeline, and I encourage everybody to do a few things. Go to Crypto Law US and look at the information on that, cryptolaw.us. Look at all the information on that site. It is quite compelling, the information and the chronological timeline and videos that are there. It really tells a real story there. The other thing you need to do is go to John Deaton's page and sign up for that class action lawsuit. There is no downside. You have to put your information in, but John Deaton is a lawyer. He will not use your private information. Your private information is safe, and you can even put in the comments that you want to remain anonymous. So make sure you do. There's no downside to being a part of that class action. That is for sure. All right, looking right here, let's cover this because this really speaks to the damage that has been done to the use of XRP because of the lawsuit from the SEC. Listen to this very quick clip here.
Question for Will. What is your favorite crypto for remittances and why?
I think my favorite by far, we have to use crypto that are listed on all of the exchanges. So Bitso must trade it, and then the one in the US must trade it. So for years it was Ripple. So the only problem is that recently the regulators in the US kind of went after Ripple, and it was delisted from all the exchanges we use. So we switched over and we started using Litecoin and Ethereum. Litecoin is still relatively inexpensive. So I'd say my favorite overall has been Ripple, but we just haven't been able to use it lately. We're hoping that it's relisted soon.
And there you have it. And it goes on. He goes on to say even more to that point. Exactly that. Shout out to Bank XRP for this video. I saw it last night. But this speaks to not only, look, we've been damaged as retail investors. This guy has a business, right? And he's been damaged. You know, what is it? 5x, 10x, 100x, 500x when it comes to the business side that's been damaged by this? Because the liquidity's not there in the way that it was before. You know, I mean, it's really, really despicable what the SEC has done in the position that they allow themselves to be in today. It really is horrible. Okay, looking right here, new information has been added to the crypto law site and to our document library, they say. Number 2, tonight it says SEC letter and exhibits to Judge Torres requesting an extension for expert discovery to January 14, 2022. The letter notes that Ripple opposes the extension and they rejected a compromise of December 22nd. It also says Exhibit B includes Ripple's refusal to consent to any extension past December 10th. We have emphasized since the beginning of the matter the need for clarity in the market on the current status of XRP, especially in the U.S. You have agreed to the existence of this urgency. Now, they're laying it down, and I just played you the clip of just one person in their business that has been affected and needs this clarity that this isn't just about retail investors here, right? So, I mean, you know, we'll see what goes on with this, but I'm glad that Ripple is sticking their ground here. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of people damaged on all sides of this. So looking here, Caitlin Long makes a great quote on top of this tweet from Raoul Pal from Real Vision, who's really has a real vision. It's amazing. He says, attention to everyone who is excited about the Bitcoin ETF news. This is a must listen. Raoul Pal is spot on, and he sure is. He's going to break down for you exactly what it means about this ETF. And if the SEC really cared about looking after investors, they wouldn't have allowed these future contract versions to be approved so they could be invested in because, well, he's going to tell you, because this gives the institutions in Wall Street both levers for the up and the down on the market.
But let's talk a little bit about the construction of this thing. This is a futures contract. So why does that matter? Well, the SEC like it because futures are regulated and it's on the CME and it's cleared, so you don't have the custody problem. But one of the movements behind crypto was this self-custody, the ability to take control and get rid of middlemen. What the SEC has actually done is create a product that will deviate from the price of Bitcoin because of the futures contract. So it will trade at a premium in bull markets and a discount in bear markets, just like the GBTC product does. That opens massive opportunities for hedge funds to arbitrage it. So they would buy the Bitcoin and sell the futures contract, and it settles at the correct price. So they make a fortune out of this. Not only that, but the construct of these ETFs also bring in, you know, you or I could just go to the exchange and buy Bitcoin, right? We're paying the exchange a little bit of money. That's it. Done. We self-custodied it. Nobody else involved. This vehicle means that the arbitrageurs take their slice. The ETF provider takes their slice. The lawyer who set up the fund takes their slice. The administrator, the auditor. I mean, everybody is taking a slice out of your pie. And we've seen this with stuff like the USO contract, the oil one. The futures then trade at massive contangos. And all that happens is you don't get the performance. And everyone says, well, Bitcoin's up 300%, and how come it only made 100%? Yeah, because you've been screwed. If the SEC really cared about looking after investors, they wouldn't allow these futures contract versions. I understand for commodities it's useful, particularly with agricultural commodities, because you can't store them. So a futures contract works, and it's suboptimal is what it is. But there's no excuse for something physical like this. It's
There you have it. Raoul Pal laying it down, and he really gives you the skinny on it. I mean, what you see is you see that superimposing of the conventional market structure, getting everybody paid, letting everybody get their little piece of the pie, right? And then on top of it, you let the largest players in the game be able to control the up and down really in price because they have the kind of money that can move the market. Now, let's take a look at this because we know we've seen this a bunch, but stay with me here. There's a point to be had out of this. January 2020, this is the World Economic Forum CBDC Policymaker Toolkit, which does show us that it is obvious here that in that framework for making a central bank digital currency, they say crypto assets designed for inter and intrabank payments and settlement, JPM coin and XRP, collaboratively developed distributed ledger technology driven interbank payment systems can be used by utility settlement coin known as USC. Well, we know that that project really all but got abandoned because of these things right here. And I don't think you could lay this out pretty much any better than Stefan W. Huber has here. So ever heard of the utility settlement coin? And a lot of people have always wondered, a competing product to XRP, but based on Ethereum, developed by European banks, former R3 employees, and the Ethereum Alliance to settle cross-border bank payments. If you look here, the project was originally supposed to go live in 2018. Let's just stay with the thread because the thread really has it. Ethereum 2 was also supposed to go live in 2018. Logically, which bank would want to use the current Ethereum for its daily business and pay the miners the most of their profits as fees? Exactly, not a single one. We're going to come back to that thought in just one second. Another problem with USC is, by the way, is that the institutions cannot agree on who should hold the reserves needed for liquidity. At first, we're going to come back to that point also. So 2 and 3 so far. 4 at first was discussed that UBS should take over, but this was rejected by other banks. Then they looked for a central bank to take over this role, but that didn't work out either. In addition, they wanted to keep the USC coin as a kind of stable coin for which the bank should set aside reserves at a central bank, a problem that XRP solves with the market price achieved in open trading, and so the project currently seem to be on hold. It's interesting, one recognizes that both problems have already been solved with XRP, or rather, depending on how you look at it, the escrow is actually the crucial point here. Yeah, and 6. We're coming back to that one too. You know how I feel about that escrow. But what becomes apparent once again is the fundamental problem behind both the utility settlement coin and the JPM coin quorum, the poor Ethereum technology. Ethereum no longer works. It has become a broken, expensive toy. If Ethereum 2 is not finished soon, this blockchain will disappear into nirvana. Now, quite powerful statements there, but shout out to Stefan Huber for this thread. What I want to do is start by coming back to number 2. Ethereum 2 was also supposed to go live in 2018, logically, which the bank would want to use the current Ethereum for its daily business and pay the miners most of their profits as fees. Now, see, one of the things we have to remember is that, you know, when people say, oh, well, most entities haven't, you know, businesses and banks have not switched over from their legacy systems to the new system. I almost say bah humbug to that. What I really feel is at a larger point, and I had a great conversation with someone yesterday about this, is that a large part of why you get the naysayers wanting to not shift to this new technology is because their business fee structure is based on transaction fees. And if you want to be completely honest, a large part of their profit generation comes from late fees. When we switch over to this new technology, this new instant payment, instant settlement, I should say, well, late fees go away because you either have the money to make that payment or you don't, right? And what else do we know? A regular transaction on the XRP ledger is thousandths of a penny. A lot of these naysayers to this technology are really naysayers because the tech disrupts their profit business model based on really sucking the life out of their own customer base through transaction fees and late fees. Looking right here at number 3, another problem with the USC, by the way, is that the institutions cannot agree on who should hold the reserves needed for liquidity. Well, this is why we've talked about the escrow. This is why we've talked about the XRP ledger and a private ledger that has been developed for central banks and how they could collateralize by putting those cash reserves backing their CBDC, right? Either if it's wholesale or retail, it doesn't matter. They could collateralize the ledger in order to bring value to the CBDC and the ledger by bringing those reserves on there, providing liquidity. And because the ledger would bring the utility to that liquidity, the combination of the two would equal price for XRP. Looking right here, if we go down to number 6 here, I just wanted to touch on this again about the escrow here. One recognizes that both the problems have been solved with XRP, or rather, depending on how you look at the escrow, actually the crucial point. And I do believe the escrow is a very crucial point. I believe that the escrow, in fact, could eventually be bought every month by some entity like the Treasury or the Fed. And maybe they form a consortium like the G7 or G20 and then control the release of it. You know, if it's going to really settle all the money, and what do we know? The World Economic Forum certainly sees it that way. They certainly see it that way. It gets even more interesting by the day. Now we move here and we see that retailers, at least in the UK, XRP has become the number 1 crypto and Cardano becomes second. Well, let's stay with the understanding of this. RippleNet customers, this is from Ripple and XRP Crypto Wolf. RippleNet customers can use XRP to bridge 2 currencies in as little as 3 seconds, ensuring payments are quickly sent and received in a local currency on either side of the transaction. You know, I had this up yesterday for the point, is exactly what they're talking about here. XRP being the bridge here. And if it serves as a bridge, it may just end up being a form of a banknote that could be a non-security. And by the way, notes can be used as currency. We will see how this shakes out. But what we do know is that when it comes to XRP, crypto aside, but XRP, I believe the entities you're going to see are the Treasury, the Fed, OCC, and the regulatory agencies connected to the Treasury. We went over OFAC yesterday. I've gone over FSOC many times on this channel for the last couple of years. I believe these entities will step in because if XRP truly is to become a real bridge to all the money, I believe it will have to look a lot like some kind of bank product that banks have already been using for many decades that already has a regulatory framework, so there can be no risk or downside to how it's regulated, including not being a security. Looking right here, it says crypto finally makes the cut in the OCC's 2022 Bank Supervision Operating Plan. We know Omarova is now the head of the OCC, Brian Brooks' former seat. It says here in this report, federal banking regulator listed 11 supervisory priorities for the fiscal year that ends next September, including cybersecurity, climate change, and fintech partnerships, and potential cryptocurrency-related activities and other services. How about that one? Fintech partnerships, huh? For potential cryptocurrency-related activities and others. Now, we do know that Brian Brooks passed quite a few issuances that allowed federally chartered banks to custody crypto. According to OCC's latest plan, the regulator will identify banks that are implementing significant changes in their operations using new technological innovations and evaluate the appropriateness of the governance process when banks undertake significant changes. Looking right here, Crypto Bull 2020 says, you know what? XRP will be going parabolic soon. Yeah, this is on the weekly chart right here looking at it. And I tell you, he's aligning with many other technical analysts. And we have to say, combined in the ETF approval, albeit futures, giving really power and control to the large investors out here in the market, The reality is money has been pouring in. That's why Bitcoin's over 61,000, and I think you're seeing a spillover into other areas. I also think you're seeing a bullish confidence return back to XRP because of the windfalls and decisions moving through this SEC case with Ripple on XRP. I think you see a lot of headwinds pointing in the right direction. What will happen to the case? We don't quite know yet. But I tell you this, not only are we seeing a bullish move, look who else has gotten bullish. Yeah. Somebody say BitBoy is in the XRP club. He now claims to be the head of it. You know what? I don't even care. You can be. But I'll tell you this, my friend. We need to send him a tinfoil hat because he's officially one of us. That is for damn sure. And he has increased his position from 255,000 XRP to over 800,000. Listen to him tell it. Shout out to BitBoy.
Now, XRP, we've increased our XRP holdings significantly. I think the last video, we had 255,000 XRP. We now have 810,000 XRP. Elron, another project, we've increased our holdings significantly. We now have almost $1 million worth of Elron. So these are our major holdings, close to $1 million or above.
And there you have it. And that's putting your money where your mouth is like the rest of us have done. This is not financial advice from me or BitBoy or anyone else, but I am glad that you're here with us watching. I do want to remind you that we have some great specials and deals. Look, Ledger Nano, great specials and deals and bundles in there, but you got to click the link. Pure VPN, help hide your identity online to help keep you from getting scammed. I use many different layers of protection. Pure VPN's one of them, 99-cent 7-day trial. You want to buy crypto? Yeah, how about buying tax-free crypto? I Trust Capital. It's the best crypto gold silver IRA on the planet, bar none. And Unstoppable Domains is unstoppable. They just kicked open many, many new wallets to be able to accept their domains. So now you've got real functionality to those domains. Make sure you check them out. I'll catch all of you on the next one.